Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin, and thanks for joining us today. A couple of quick notes. First of all, January 19th and 20th, the Tucson Invitational Coin and Currency Expo. Come and see us. Thanks to Stax Bowers for sponsoring the show. We appreciate that. Also, the Coin Geek YouTube channel, those Maroons for sponsoring the show as well. And also, quick note, we actually have a full-time brick and mortar here for those of you who are kind of new to the channel. We sell stuff on our website, oldpueblocoin.com, but also OPC sales on eBay. And we put a lot of stuff on eBay that we don't put on our website. So old partial album collections, original rolls of coins, things in capital holders. And I always try to have them throw stuff up on eBay that's going to be at a 1 cent, no reserve. So it's kind of a fun place to kind of track down some numismatic fodder. If you enjoy that type of material, check out OPC sales. There'll be a link in the show description here to our eBay. All right, without further ado, Morgan's Inner saying, Mr. Ben, can I ask your opinion on the Fitzgerald Nevada Club Reno Hoard, Morgan and Peace with token, NGC slab 3-piece set? I can find some information on why it's called such, where it came from, but no prices. I just picked one up. Very cool, large slab. Thanks. So, all right, there are a lot of different hoards out there, and a lot of things in holders that'll say such and such a collection. Maybe it'll have a special label to it. I'm not all that familiar with the Lincoln Fitzgerald collection in of itself. I have had a number of items from it in the past. The label looks something like that. If you look on eBay, there's all kinds of stuff up there on eBay that's selling. He's talking about these really cool bigger holders there that have tokens, casino tokens, and coins both. So from what I can tell, that in Reno, apparently there's like casinos that are legal, and then there's casinos that are, well, not as legal. And apparently Fitzgerald had, I don't know if he had both, but apparently he had some stuff that was on the less legal side. And when he passed away, there was a hoard of his coins and tokens in a warehouse, and there was over 100,000 Morgans in there. And so most of them trade on eBay, it looks like, at a pretty reasonable price point. You know, you can pick up silver dollars for 50, 60, 75, 80 bucks. Some of the things with tokens in them for a similar price point, 4 pieces for $100 to $200, depending on what's in that holder. So it looks like there are several different types of holders available with different types of items in there, and it's fun. I mean, the hoards and things that come out from shipwrecks and stuff like that is really an interesting part of numismatics, because the reality is that with most numismatic items, most collectible items, we're collecting stories anyways. And so when you have things with special labels, there's always going to be some type of cachet. It's easier when people know what it is, right? So probably the most famous is the GSA hoard, you know, where the government had bags of Carson City coins come out, and they have their own special holder. And so most coin collectors who collect US coins know about those items. But generally speaking, there's a lot of stuff out there that you can find with special holders. Thanks for the question. William saying classical art, when artistic talent was expressed on banknotes and stock certificates. Classical art. My great-great-grandfather painted safes in Cincinnati, Ohio for 45 years. Let me say out loud, your great-great-grandfather is my hero. If you haven't seen old safes that are, you know, 100 years old or older, something like that, the scroll work on those, I mean, talk about nostalgia. I love that stuff. So, and for someone who lives in the Southwest, where, you know, you have the concept of the Old West, the 1870s and 80s, Tombstone, Arizona, Bisbee, etc., old safes are kind of my jam. And so that is a pretty epic family history right there. All right. Also, we were talking about banknotes and how they came, the banknote companies that produce banknotes. Let me tell you what happened here for those of you who don't know. The U.S. government did not produce all the banknotes that would circulate. For a lot of countries, you actually had the American Banknote Company producing currency for other countries. They produced banknotes for private issue banks. They also printed stock certificates. And so there are several companies out there, and they would show a bank who was looking to get their notes printed. Here's an example of what we have, and they'd have a booklet, and the booklet would be full of different prints of some of their different currency examples or some of their different vignettes, so just the images that they would have, and they would go and show these off. And so Joe Papp's asking, have you ever seen whatever the complete book is that this specimen proof would have come from? So I have seen them. I have not owned any. So some of those books were only pamphlets of 20, 30 pages, and some were a little thicker than that, with lots and lots of examples beyond that. They had some of the similar things for counterfeit guides that were put out. So there were other books called Heath's Counterfeit Guides, where those are very popular amongst currency collectors, and those would have examples of the notes printed in them for U.S. notes, so that you could see as a bank teller what was actual comparison to spot counterfeits. All right. Let me see here. Joseph is asking, if I have an 1864 Indian head penny and it's in high grade but possibly cleaned, should it get graded? Is it still profitable to get that graded, or should I abstain from getting it graded? Well, this is a very good example of, if you have a coin that you're on the fence about, this is a good example of when you could go with Annex as your third-party grading service to get it in a holder. Generally speaking, I know some of you don't understand this, but I'll try to make it more clear over time. Annex is a perfectly good provider for third-party services for grading coins, especially in coins that are less expensive. You don't want to spend 25 or 30 bucks to get it in a holder just to have it authenticated and noted the grade. Generally speaking, if your coin is probably in that $200 ballpark or less, this I think is a fairly good option for you. There's a time for Annex, just like there's a time not for Annex. So don't mistake what I say about Annex. They are good people and they do good work. Also, there is a time for them. And so we'll do probably just its own video sometime about, having the time. When do you send stuff into Annex? All right, Thailand Platinum saying, something about Bitcoin channels and clickbait. Never heard of that before. This was on a video I did about news you can use and news you can lose. And just basically how not only is YouTube clickbait all over the place, basically any news source is clickbait. Basically the entire interweb is clickbait now. I mean, it's just everything you look at. Misleading photos, misleading articles, misleading everything. And that, man, there are jokes that I don't say out loud. I just want to let you know that right now. Okay, maybe I'll tell the joke on my my subscription-based portion of this channel. Maybe I won't. Anyway, he says that he enjoys the channel because we don't do the clickbait thing. At the same time, it says a lot about the average collector, the clickbait stuff does. I'm starting to realize that a vast majority of collectors are novice beginners that primarily sort pocket change, coin rolls, or whatever, looking for that obscure $20,000 variety or error in their couch cushions. These people are primed for clickbait. Well, there's a couple things I want to dig into on your comment. That's a very good comment. That yes, this is true. There's a lot of people out there that they look for the clickbait. They are the prime victims of clickbait, if you will. They really want to find the rare items from pocket change. Could this $50 be worth $8.2 million? Probably. So what I want to get at, though, is the general concept of the hobby and what's going on here. And that is to say, first of all, thank you for everyone who leaves a comment, clicks the like button here, because one of the things that we believe in education is getting the information out there. We believe in education and getting the information out there in front of people that is not super hyped up. We just want people to learn so that they don't get taken advantage of. And a part of that is when you share this channel, you're doing that, in my opinion. But also, there's plenty of other good resources out there. And so if you have good resources for people, lead them to the good resources. Also, just because someone does coin roll hunting, don't shun them. right? I mean, coin roll hunting folks are good folks too. One of our good buddies, John Ford, is the guy who, good golly. Sorry. That's it, right? Too many words, too many names. Bob Ford. Lots of Fords out there, guys. One of our good customers, Bob Ford, is the gentleman who discovered the Wisconsin variety quarter because he was a coin roll hunter for life. But the coin roll hunting back then was a little bit different than it is now. That's another topic. But the point is, don't shun them. Also, a lot of those guys get led into actual numismatics like you or I would view numismatics. So lead them, guide them. They can become, you know, one of us. That's a possibility still. All right. On to a couple more questions here. Let me see. Philip is saying, well done videos. I enjoy them. I've been watching for a while, scrolling through some of your auctions. I see some of your Morgans. He's talking about some of our auctions on eBay, and have the grade marked out and a blurb regarding that eBay policy requires it. He just wanted an explanation on that. So if eBay only actually allows you to use numeric grades on services that they have deemed worthy, and of course how they have deemed worthy, well, I was not in the room where it happens, so I don't know exactly how that happens. But if this is a Freudian slip kind of day today. If eBay doesn't think that the grading company is up to par, shall we say, then they do not get to have their grades listed numerically. So in other words, you can't list certain holders, like maybe an old PCI holder is not accepted. So I can show the coin, but I can't show the label that says MS65. And I can't call it an MS65 in the description. And so that is an eBay policy that favors the companies that are already in favor, so to speak. Now, I'm one who I just like to say, hey, this company called it that, but also look at the coin. And also, you know, we've talked about it here, that there are certain coin companies that we prefer over others when it comes to grading third-party services. All right, finally, Patrick, Baton Cleanup, wishing you and your family a happy holidays. I just signed up with CAC. There's only 467 people ahead of me on the waiting list. Is this a great country or what? I love this country. That's fantastic. I don't know how long that'll take. Patrick, maybe you can give us an update when you get to the top of the line. But as I told Patrick, there are literally millions of people behind you. So be happy that you're 467th on the list. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching today. I'm Ben the Coin Geek. You can subscribe by clicking on the owl button in the corner and watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Thanks.